Hi everyone. Today we're going to dive into the world of IP addresses. By the end of this class, you'll have a solid understanding of what an IP address is and why it's important. So, let's get started. Who can tell me what an IP address is?
Isn't it something like a digital address for your computer?
That's a great start, Naomi. Yes, an IP address is like a digital address that identifies your device on a network. It's essential for devices to communicate with each other over the internet. There are two main types, IPv4 and IPv6. IPv4 is the older version and uses a 32-bit address format, while IPv6 is newer and uses a 128-bit address format.
Why do we need two different types?
Excellent question, Mary. The primary reason we have IPv6 is because we ran out of IPv4 addresses. IPv4 can support around 4.3 billion unique addresses, which seemed like a lot back in the day, but with the explosion of internet-connected devices, we needed more. IPv6, with its 128-bit address format, can support an astronomical number of addresses.
So does every device have its own unique IP address?
Yes and no. Every device on the internet needs an IP address to communicate, but not all devices have a unique public IP address. Many devices share a public IP address using a technology called Network Address Translation, or NAT. Your home router, for instance, has a public IP address, and it assigns private IP addresses to each device on your local network.
What does an IP address look like?
Good question, Lisa. An IPv4 address is typically written in decimal format as four numbers separated by dots like this, 192.168.1.1. Each number ranges from 0 to 255. IPv6 addresses, on the other hand, are written in hexadecimal and separated by colons like this.
How does the IP address help in communication between devices?
Great question, Sandra. When you send data over the internet, it's broken down into small pieces called packets. Each packet contains the IP address of the sender and the receiver. Routers use these IP addresses to determine the best path to send the packet to its destination. Think of it like sending a letter. The IP address is like the postal address on the envelope.
How can I find out what my IP address is?
Good one, Naomi. You can easily find your IP address. If you want to know your public IP address, you can simply type, "What is my IP address?" into Google, and it'll show you. For your private IP address on your local network, you can use command line tools. On Windows, you can open Command Prompt and type ipconfig. On a Mac, you can open Terminal and type ifconfig.
What about security? Can someone use my IP address to hack my computer?
That's a very important question, Chloe. Knowing your IP address alone doesn't give someone enough information to hack your device, but it can be a starting point. This is why having a good firewall and using secure connections like VPNs is important. These measures help protect your network and keep your data safe.
Can IP addresses be faked or disguised?
Yes, Mary. This is known as IP spoofing. It's when someone sends packets from a false IP address to hide their identity or to impersonate another device. However, there are security measures in place that can detect and prevent most spoofing attempts.
So with the transition from IPv4 to IPv6, do we have to change anything on our end?
Not necessarily, Lisa. Most modern devices and operating systems support both IPv4 and IPv6. Your Internet Service Provider, ISP, will handle most of the transition. However, some older devices might not support IPv6, but that's becoming less of an issue as technology advances.
Can we choose our own IP addresses, or are they assigned to us?
They are typically assigned to you by your ISP or your network administrator. On your local network, your router assigns IP addresses to your devices using a protocol called DHCP. However, you can set a static IP address for a device if needed, for example, for a printer or a server that needs a consistent address. All right, everyone, that's a wrap for today's class on IP addresses. Excellent questions. Next time, we'll dive into how DNS works and how it relates to IP addresses. Have a great day, and feel free to ask more questions in the comments.
Mary, do you know what makes my beautiful IT school even more beautiful?
Let me guess. Awesome viewers who like, subscribe, and share our videos?
Exactly. We love teaching you, and we want to reach even more tech enthusiasts.
So if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your friends.
Let's grow our tech community together. Thanks for watching.
See you in the next tech adventure.